Welcome to the Calyrex Game Corner's Pokemon D&D campaign, featuring Jacob as Schmidt with his Farfetch'd Quacko, Melissa as Cindy with her Vulpix Soul Eater, Grace as Elodie with her Milcery Cabbage, and CJ as Gimli with his Roggenrola Trevor. My name is Rich and I'm the Game Master, and this is Dunsparce and Drampa. You wake up in the morning and you find yourself in the hostel in the Pokemon Center. You are in a pair of bunk beds. Did you take the top bunk or the bottom bunk? Gimli's in the other one.
I totally took top bunk.
Yeah, I was going to make that assumption, but I wanted you to throw it in there.
Yeah. No.
So you're sleeping in the top bunk and you stir yourself awake. You look across the way and on the ladies' side, you see that Elodie is still sleeping. You see that Sam and Cindy's beds are empty. What are you going to do first thing?
So give me a refresher on what exactly has just happened.
Sure.
Because I remember beating Torkoal, and then that was it.
Yeah, so we beat Torkoal, and then Sam was injured, and you all just kind of checked in at the Pokemon Center hostel, and you all agreed that you take the gym challenge in the morning. It's safe to assume that's where Cindy went.
Okay. I'll probably also head there then, if that's what we agreed to do.
Absolutely. Cool. So you throw on your fresh clothes, you grab your Pokeball that has Patricia in it, you gather Quacko, and you head on out. It's a short walk. You take the ladder up, you walk on the wooden platforms, and you head on down to the large building in the center of town. That is the Fortree City Gym. You can notice from where you're standing at the bottom, it's a very tall vertical building. And at the very top, there's a giant wind turbine spinning. And over the sound of the turbine, you can hear what sounds like the faint sounds of Pokemon battling. And the same gentleman that gave you your trainer's license and badge case holds out his hand and requests your trainer's license.
Okay, I hand it to him.
Great. He grabs it from you and does a little scribble on it, and he says, all right, you may enter. The big red doors before you open up, and you walk through. Stadium lights flash on, and before you see a square battling pitch. A young gentleman, probably in his late teens, he's got sandy hair. He runs up to you and he says, hey, welcome to the Fortree City Gym. I'll be your first challenger.
Sick, let's do this.
He says, all right, so here at the Fortree City Gym, we are going to test you in 3 categories. Your power, your skill, and your luck. My name's Miles, and we're going to keep it simple today. I'm going to test you with your power. We're going to have a double battle. So he throws out 2 Fortree City balls, and out comes a Pokemon that you recognize from the post office. It's a little Murkrow, but it's just wearing 1 hat instead of 2 hats. And then you see the Hoenn regional bird, a Tailo.
I have Quacko waddle out onto the field.
Great.
And then I throw out Patricia.
Okay. Let's get initiative for each of your Pokemon. Patricia is going to be going first. Let the battle begin. What are you going to do?
Sick. I'm going to start this off with a nice sing.
A nice sing. All right. What's the DC on that again?
8 plus charisma, which is -1, so 7.
Yeah, it's 7. Who are you targeting? It's a single target.
Taylor seems a little too like scrappy for me.
Okay.
I want that thing to go to sleep.
Sure. Let's see it. They got a dirty 20, so they will not be falling asleep, unfortunately. Patricia lets out a beautiful song, but unfortunately, Tailo is just not affected by it at all. Also, as a bird, just hears these bird songs all the time and doesn't give a hoot. It is now Tailo's turn to respond, and Tailo is going to go for a peck into Quacko, who looks like the fierce, stronger target at the moment. Does a 12 hit Quacko?
No.
Yeah. I think Quacko woke up this morning ready for battle. Leak is sharpened, or however Quacko maintains his leak, and deftly dodges out of the way of this peck. It's now Quacko's turn to retaliate.
I'm gonna hit him with a big aerial ace.
Okay, who are you targeting?
That Tailo.
Okay, roll your damage.
9. I like to think that he flies over carrying his leak with his feet. As he gets close, he throws his leak up, grabs it with his wing, and then smacks down with it.
Quacko does exactly that, and Tailo takes a sizable hit that was never going to miss and is looking pretty rough. Worse for the wear. Quacko's a pretty strong little duck. At the end of initiative, we have Murkrow. Miles will shout out and say, all right, Murkrow, it's time for a peck on Quacko. This is not good. Does a 9 hit Quacko?
Nope.
No, okay. Once again, Quacko's in the fighting spirit, just not going to be attacked by these birds at all. That is absurd. We're back to Patricia.
I think Patricia's also gonna throw around some pecks.
Okay.
You know.
Sure.
Does a 7 hit the Talo?
7 does not hit Talo, unfortunately. Barely just missing.
Patricia, you're doing your best.
Patricia is doing her best. We are all proud. Lots of pecks going around. Lots of missing pecks going around. Very unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
We'll keep the combat quick. We'll go right back into Talo for the counter attack. This time, Talo's going to go for a Fury attack, still targeting down Quacko. A total of 10 damage, hitting 3 times. Talo comes in, determined to get some damage on the field for their squad. Smacks Quacko around a little bit. Goes Talon, Beak, Talon. Cutting up Quacko's feathers. Is Quacko just going to take that?
Yikes. Does Quacko have an option not to?
No, I'm just saying, like, how is Quacko going to respond?
Quacko's just going to hit another aerial ace. What was the +4? So 5. Onto the Talo.
Talo once again gets whacked with the aerial ace, the samurai-like efficiency of the leak that Quacko wields, and is down. Not completely, but its health is quite low. You could say that if it had an HP bar, it would be in the low yellow. Moving back on over to Murkrow. Miles says, Murkrow, you got this. Try Astonish. And we'll go for an Astonish into Patricia, which isn't going to work. Because it is, in fact, a normal type. Because Miles didn't do his homework. So he's saying, dang
Miles,
it, I should have known that. And
do your homework, bro.
It's going to cycle back to Patricia.
Patricia's going to go for another thing onto the Murkrow. Just so it's kind of like a 2v1.
DC 7, Charisma. That's cocked. It got stuck on the coaster. Okay. That's definitely more than 7. That is going to be 12. Yeah. Once again, birds hearing bird song. Not too tantalized by it. I'm not really worried about it.
Patricia, you're doing your best.
Patricia is doing her best, sincerely. Miles says, I think Fury Attack worked last time. Let's try it again. Fury Attack into the Farfetch'd. Instructing Talo. And rolls a 2. So, unfortunately, won't be able to follow up. It's looking just bruised and battered. Quacko's been doing quite the number on it, and it won't be able to get an attack off this turn. Back to Quacko.
Quacko's just going to 2v1 this, I guess. I'm going to go for a Fury Attack this time. Dirty 20.
Yep, that'll hit. Still in the yellow HP bar, but the Fury Attack definitely could have been a little more furious. Murkrow this time, realizing that Astonish won't be a good option, is going to be instructed to use Pursuit and gets a critical failure. So
alrighty.
Last turn or 2. Yeah, the gym trainers, they're just warming up. It's still early in the morning. Miles says, I can't believe it, Murkrow. I believe in you. How could this happen? And Murkrow just kind of shrugs and goes, Mah! And just doesn't even attack. Doesn't even try. The move is called Pursuit, but there's no one being pursued, unfortunately. Patricia gets to act again.
Yeah, just peck onto the Talo, I guess.
Okay.
That's also a crit failure.
Crit fails all around. How does Patricia fail to peck? What does it look like?
I imagine it's like Patricia's scared to peck, so it's like she has her eyes closed while she's trying to peck, so she's just flying randomly into things. They move out of the way and Patricia doesn't readjust her course, so she just keeps going and pecks the air.
Just bonks. Oh no. It's it's a hard transitioning from singing a song to going for combat, to be fair to Patricia.
Yeah.
Okay. Going to retaliate. Talo is going to attempt a peck of their own and gets a 15 into Patricia. That should hit, right? It's going to be a total of 8 flying type damage into Patricia. Miles says, nice one, Talo. And Talo goes, beep, beep. Quacko.
We're going to hit you with another Fury Attack.
Okay. Who are you targeting?
The Talo, of course. We're going to get rid of this thing.
Fair enough.
Okay. Dirty 21.
Yeah, that'll hit. And 5 damage is going to be enough to KO this Talo. Nicely done.
Go.
Miles recalls his Talo and says, all right, Murkrow, this is all on you. You got this. Murkrow's going to go for another Pursuit into Patricia this time. And gets a 2. What is going on with this Murkrow? This is terrible. Okay. Once again, Murkrow's a little more inspired than last turn, but is really just not feeling it today. That is so unfortunate. Patricia, you want to deal some damage to this thing?
Yeah, let's go for a good old rousing peck. Does a 15.
Murkrow, it certainly does.
4 plus 3 is 7, so 7 damage.
Finally, Patricia gets a nice little peck off and disgruntles
Patricia.
this lazy Murkrow, hopefully inspiring it to deal some damage, but it can't deal some damage yet because it's Quacko's turn.
Yep. We're gonna go for another good Fury attack. Just to confirm, does a 22 hit the Murkrow?
It does. What was your natural roll, out of curiosity?
17.
You'll tell me if it's 19, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It definitely hits. You can roll your damage.
So 4 plus 4 damage.
Okay, and then
That's 8 damage.
Miles says, "All right, it's time for us to focus on our strategy a little bit, Murkrow. Go for another pursuit, and let's hit it this time." And is going to use pursuit on Patricia. And ooh, that'll hit. That's a 19 for 10 damage. Murkrow chases down Patricia in a very menacing fashion and gives it a good old whack with its crooked beak.
Patricia, while they're close to you, respond with a peck.
Referencing Miles' secret strategy, Murkrow's gonna sneak in a sucker punch as a reaction.
Oh, what the hell?
13, good enough to hit Patricia.
No.
Oh, so lucky.
Get that out of here.
Is it 14?
Get that out of here. Yeah, it's 14.
Oh, wow, incredible.
Barely missed.
Murkrow sees the attack coming in and says, "Not again," and just like swings up its talon in an attempt to cut off Patricia, but it doesn't work. How much damage is Patricia gonna do?
16 plus 3, 19 to hit. 3, 7.
Ooh, Murkrow's looking rough. Looks like it can't take many more hits, but it's still in the fight. Murkrow's going to do the best that he can to take this one home. Despite that, it's Quacko's turn. Can Quacko finish this thing off?
Can Quacko finish this thing off?
Quacko can try.
Quacko is going to assert its dominance as the best bird here.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to finish it off with a good peck.
Oh, a peck? Wow.
Does a 23 hit?
Yes, it does.
1, so 5.
Oh my gosh, I was just about to say, if you roll anything but a 1, you knock it out. But you rolled a 1.
Oh my god.
So Murkrow is hanging on with 1 HP. You know, squawk! Like, it's not going to give up. Miles says, "I know you can do it, Murkrow. Come on. Let's take out this Swablu. Go for pursuit." And that's a 11.
Nope.
It won't happen. Murkrow on its last legs, facing off against Patricia. Can Patricia do it?
Patricia's going to go for an Astonish.
Okay. Murkrow, using the last of its energy, is going to try and cut it off with a sucker punch. And rolls a 3. So does not hit the sucker punch. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
You just need to hit this. Just hit it.
Yeah, 14 plus 3, so 17.
Oh my god. You managed to take down your first challenge. Gym trainer Miles says, "Wow, I think we all know who's got the best bird in this gym right now." Referencing Quacko. He says, "All right, your next test won't be quite as easy. Go speak to my friend Ben in the next room for your skill challenge."
I grabbed Patricia and I put her on my head and I said, "Patricia, you did your best today."
Excellent. As we all know, Swablu love bean hats, so Patricia is elated to be a hat.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Miles escorts you into the next room where you see Ben. He's standing in a giant corridor. It's about the size of a football field. There's all sorts of machinery around you, lots of spinning propeller blades that are blocked off by railing. There's flying type Pokemon that are kind of fluttering around. Looks like they're performing some sort of duty. And you're greeted by Ben. He says, "Hey, welcome. This is the speed challenge of the Fortree Gym. I hope you're ready. You will use 1 Pokemon for this challenge."
Okay. Let's go, Quacko.
All right. You pick Quacko. Does Patricia remain on your head?
Patricia remains in my head.
Perfect. Ben looks at Quacko and says, "All right, we're in for a good race." He sends out his Pokeball, and you see a Dragonfly Pokemon. It has a brilliant sheen on its scales, and it does a little somersault in the air. You watch as Ben, starting to explain how this is going to work, strings some rope over Yanma's back that seems connected to some weights. Ben gestures to this arena that you're in. He says, "All right, so there's 6 rings in this arena. If you manage to get through all of the rings and then turn around and come back to your trainer before my Yanma can come back to me, then you'll win this challenge." As you see before you, there's a series of rings that are mounted to the ground in large poles. The rings are about 6 feet in a circle across, so there's plenty of room to get in. How this is going to work is that you have a budget of 30 feet and 1 action per turn. You can use your action to go an additional 30 feet, or you could attack Yanma, try and slow it down. You could use your moves creatively in a way to propel yourself or create some other sort of effect. Yanma will start out slow with these weights, but it does have the speed boost ability, so every turn it will be getting faster and faster. So you'll have to make quick ground while you're ahead. If it takes too long for you to navigate through these rings, you may just become overtaken. If you'd like to roll initiative, and we will start the race. Okay, what was your initiative roll?
5.
Okay, Yanma will be going first.
Oh no.
Okay, Yanma, it's got some weights on it, but it's also glowing with some sort of blue energy. It moves forward and it makes its way just through the first ring that's in front of you, about 15 feet away, and then stops. It can't move much more. It turns around and looks at Quacko through its compound eyes and focuses on itself and makes copies of itself. Bleep, 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 bleep. It just starts flapping so fast that it looks like there's 3 of them.
Dash and move twice as far? That's broken.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that because that's 60 feet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why wouldn't I just do that?
Okay. Yeah. No need to roll for that or anything. Quacko goes for the dash. Quacko's going to leap through this first ring. That isn't too far off the ground. We'll go to the left. Quacko elegantly flips through the third one, and does Quacko perch on top of it in the center, or does Quacko land on his feet in front of the third ring?
Perch on top of it.
Okay, perch on top of the
Just
third
kinda
ring.
Be ready for it.
You witness as what looks to be 3 Yanmas are starting to pick up some speed. They cover the ground that Quacko went through. They dash through the second ring, and they make it all the way up to where Quacko is standing, or right before the ring that Quacko's standing on, and they decide to shoot out an air slash. Ooh.
All right, I thought we were going to have an honest race.
That is a natural 26. Jeez.
Ow.
A big old bonus on that. That's a big yikes. That's 14 points of flying damage. Yanma's not messing around. This Yanma is here to scrap and to win races. It seems like its speed has increased significantly. What's Quacko going to do?
We are also going to scrap.
Okay.
I'm going to throw down an aerial ace.
Oh my gosh. The double team thwart. How could I be so silly? I mean, I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. Okay, yeah. Roll your damage.
10 damage.
10 damage?
Yep.
That's a hearty hit. Quacko completely sees through the illusion of the double team and just smacks Yanma right before the ring that it is standing on. You have to move 10 feet to the left, and then you can begin going through the 3 concentric rings that gradually ascend upward. What is Quacko's method?
I think Quacko just goes as far as they can.
Okay. Not messing around, not trying to take any risks. Perches on the first ring, the 4th ring out of 6. Yanma's speed has picked up at such where it seems like it's completely uninhibited by the weights on its body now. It dashes through the 3rd ring, zooms past Quacko, and perches on the 5th, second to last ring that's 15 feet up in the air, and fires off another air slash. And it gets a 2, so it will not be hitting. Sharp blades of air fired out of Yanma's body towards Quacko and just straight up miss. They ricochet off of the ring that Quacko is perched in. What's Quacko going to do?
That was inhibited movement?
It was, but speed boost.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yanma's zooming now.
How much further to the goal?
You have positioned yourself so that you could, with your full movement, you could clear the last 2 rings and start your journey back.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Okay. So with your 30 feet of movement, Quacko easily manages to fly through the second to last ring, the very last ring, and can either return to the ground or stay high in the air. Which would you prefer?
I stay high in the air.
Stay high in the air? All right.
Yeah.
So all Quacko has to do now is return back to Schmidt. The distance between Quacko and Schmidt is just 50 feet to the south, and you can be back. So a dash will just get you an additional 30 feet, or you can make an attack, or you can make a skill check of some kind.
Do the dash.
Okay. With that dash, you just 20 feet away from Schmidt. Looking pretty good. Yanma seems far behind, but Yanma, glowing blue at this point, starts zooming super fast, catches all the way up to Quacko, and fires off a bug buzz. Side by side at this point. Yanma has made up for all of its lost ground and rolls a 3 on its bug buzz. Excellent. Yanma goes and makes a loud, threatening buzz, and Quacko is completely unfazed by it. So now,
Just 20 feet, right?
Just 20 feet left. You could easily just
win.
It. Just win. Just win. Is there any extra flair you want to do with your extra 10 feet of movement?
No. Just win.
Okay. Quacko,
this thing's scary.
How do you describe Quacko flying back into Schmidt's arms, or just walking up, or
just win?
Determined with just winning, Quacko returns to Schmidt. Ben turns over and says, "Oh, that was so close. I really thought Yanma had it this time." Yanma goes, "Meow, meow." Ben says, "You did a great job. You only got a couple challenges left. Up next is the luck room. Now I will wish you luck." Ben gestures.
I'm mad at Ben.
You're mad at Ben?
All right. Yanma cheated.
Ben gestures to stairs. It seems like you're beginning to ascend in this facility that seems to be generating a bunch of wind energy. You find yourself climbing up the stairs to an elevated platform. There's the pipes of giant wind turbines that are stretching through the ceiling, and if you look up, you can see the sky outside. On a platform, elevated from the stairs, you approach the platform and you see a young woman. She has short brown hair. She's wearing big glasses. And she says, "You made it. Welcome. Welcome to..."
Are you going to cheat?
Do you say that?
Yeah.
She says, "We cannot cheat. We are using luck. It will all be up to fate. No cheating here. Time for you to choose how many Pokemon you'd like to use in the luck challenge."
I'm just going to go both. There can't go wrong going both. Actually, I take that back.
You take that back?
Just Patricia.
Just Patricia. Excellent.
Patricia is the luckiest bird of them all.
Gabriella.
And I say that to her.
You do?
Yeah.
Great. Gabriella, who is the trainer you're facing, says, "Oh, excellent. I love Swablu. This is going to be so much fun. So, in order to win my challenge, you don't have to defeat my Pokemon." She throws out her Fortree ball, and what you see before you is basically an egg. And it has nubs for hands, nubs for feet, nubs for wings, and a long neck with a smiling face on the top. She says, "You don't have to defeat my Togetic. You just have to last 6 turns. Let the battle begin. Roll your initiative."
Hopes and Dreams starts playing in the background. 6.
6? All right. Togetic got 3. Patricia gets to act first.
Okay.
Patricia can do whatever she wants.
Yep. Patricia can do whatever she wants.
Again, you don't have to defeat it, but you could. That is a win con.
Yeah, but also I would like to sing.
Okay. Charisma check at 7. This is a Togetic, so it's got beefy charisma. Ooh, it rolled a natural 7. So with its charisma, that's going to take it up to an 11.
Dang it.
So close. Another bird song comes out of Patricia's beak, unaffecting this Togetic. Not bothered at all. Togetic does something quite peculiar. Togetic begins to wiggle its finger, and it is overpowered with some sort of mystical energy. From the tip of its finger comes a string of sticky insect web that covers Patricia. Patricia is now restrained. Patricia may use the entirety of its movement to become unrestrained, or make a strength check at the start of its turn, break through it, and then be able to still make a movement or an attack. You can have a guaranteed way to get up next turn, or you can make a roll and see if you can do 2 things at once. As Patricia is just bogged down by sticky web. I can tell you the DC is 12, the strength check.
That's an 8.
It's an 8. Patricia will
I would argue.
Yeah?
Can I argue?
Sure, argue.
That
Go
you
for
can
it.
still sing while you're restrained.
I mean, yeah, I'll give it to you, but Togetic rolls at advantage.
Sure. I'll take it.
Okay.
It's the luckiest bird.
Patricia, covered in webs, lets out a sing song of the singest songs, and the first roll was a natural 20, so it's not.
It doesn't even matter.
It doesn't even matter. The advantage doesn't matter at all. Togetic doesn't care about being sun. For turn number 2. Oh, what?
Stop.
Ooh, this is going to be good. Turn number 2. Togetic wiggles its fingers. It puts its finger back down into its closed hand, curls it into a fist, and punches Patricia on the ground with bolts of lightning coming out of Togetic's fist.
What?
Let's see if this hits. An 18 is going to break Patricia's armor class, yes. Okay, you didn't get off that bad. It's fine. It's just 13 points of electric damage from a thunder punch.
Yeah.
Almost halfway through the challenge.
Yeah, we'll gamble. I'll just use my turn to break out of this thing.
Okay. Patricia successfully spends all of her movement to release herself from the webs. Believe it or not, Togetic once again goes for the finger wiggle. Upon wiggling her finger, Togetic fills her brain with just awful, nasty thoughts. And it seems like that if you attempted any sort of move that implied wisdom, intelligence, or charisma, that Togetic would have an advantage from its nasty plot. Got off easy on that one. Back to Patricia. You're halfway there. 3 more turns.
I'm going to use my mystery move.
Oh, okay. Roll your nature.
Just a flat 12.
An arcane energy gently flows through Patricia, remembering the powers of its ancestors, flaps its wings vigorously, and it seems like the next thing that it attempts will have advantage. Togetic, wiggling its finger. So funny enough, for beat up, we do take into account how many Pokemon that the trainer has, and Gabriella currently only has one Pokemon.
Okay.
So Togetic is going to just try to beat up Patricia a little bit, and its first hit, it rolls a 5, so it's not going to do anything. Very, very lucky on that one. Patricia, what are you going to do? 2 turns.
I have advantage on my next thing, right?
Yes.
Would that cancel out an advantage if I went for Sing?
It would.
Okay, so we're going to Sing.
Charisma check.
We're just stalling.
Oh my god. You got a 2. And with their charisma modifier, that goes to 6. So you barely put Togetic to sleep.
Let's go, Patricia.
Incredible. Togetic's taking a snooze. It only has 1 more turn to get a metronome off. What is Patricia going to do?
Patricia's going to do a safeguard. Just no, if any wake up, will BS, no.
Just in case, Patricia sets up an area of protection around herself. And Togetic is going to try and wake up and go for 1 more metronome. Let's see it. Rolls a 3. Togetic sleeping. You did it. What? You put an incredibly charismatic fairy bird to sleep on the last 2 turns of this metronome challenge.
Go, Patricia.
Gabriella says, well done, incredibly well done. No one's put my Togetic to sleep before. And she just walks over to Togetic and pets it on the head. It lets out a satisfied snore. She recalls it into the Fortree ball. She says, all right, we've tested your power, your speed, and your luck. There's only 1 more challenge ahead of you. It's gym leader Winona. She points to the stairs behind her and she ushers you on. You find yourself on the roof of the Fortree City Gym. The view is breathtaking. So Fortree City is already not only the northernmost city in Hoenn, but it's also the highest altitude. And beyond that, you're on top of the largest building in Fortree City. There's a giant wind turbine blowing behind you. It's kind of making a whirring mechanical noise. And you can see a woman. She's dressed in a purple, almost kind of aviation-looking outfit. And she turns around and faces you. She says, welcome. My name is Winona. You made it.
Schmidt thinks she's really pretty, so he gets really nervous.
Uh-huh. Great.
So he's like, hey, how are you today? Yeah.
She takes off her hat that has like goggles built into it, and she pushes her purple hair behind her ear, and she says, I'm doing great. Here, let me help you a little bit. And she hands you a bunch of potions. She's able to restore all of your Pokemon's HP. She says, I know Gabriella already asked you this, but my challenge won't be as crazy as hers. I'm going to ask you, though, how many Pokemon you'd like to use for this final battle.
I'm going to go both of this one.
Winona sends out 3 bird Pokemon. One is a raptor that is made of metal. It is very large and very intimidating looking. The other looks like a big version of Tailo. It has a big, proud bird chest, and it has a double tail on it, on the back of its body. And one is a big old goofy looking pelican with blue tipped feathers. She says, I'll let you choose which one of my Pokemon you'll be taking down today.
Give me that big old goofy looking pelican.
All right. Winona says, excellent. And she recalls Skarmory and Swellow. She says, let the battle begin. Railings rise up from the sides of the roof. You're on the pitch of the Fortree City Gym, and you may roll initiative for both of your Pokemon. As the battle begins and the Pokemon take their places, the Pelipper goes and calls out to the sky, and a rain cloud forms over the stadium, and it begins to rain. It's Patricia's turn.
No nonsense. No, none of this. Sing.
Sing, all right. Charisma check. Pelipper isn't necessarily charismatic, so Patricia, sings a beautiful song. It looks like Pelipper might start to doze off, and then nope, snaps out of it.
It's like when you go through an album, like the hits aren't until like the third or fourth track, right? Like the first two aren't like the bangers,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's gonna take a while, huh?
Yeah.
It's the Pelipper's turn, and the Pelipper doesn't say this, but the Pelipper thinks, well, now it's my turn to make some noise, and fires a supersonic at Quacko. Quacko must make a wisdom saving throw.
Yep. 15.
You exactly met the DC, and ties favor the attacker. So,
Vic. Oh, that's scary. Okay.
Quacko is now confused.
It is Quacko's turn.
Yes, it's Quacko's turn, and Quacko is confused. You can't take reactions, which you weren't doing it anyways. When you use an action, you have to roll a d20. On a result of a 10 or lower, you hurt yourself. And on a result of 10 or higher, you get to attack. And on a result of 16 or higher, you're no longer confused.
Let's roll this d20.
Yep.
That's a 4.
It's a 4, so you take damage equal to your proficiency bonus, which is 2. So, unfortunately,
Quacko, no.
Quacko's just disoriented from the rain and the sounds and all these birds, so many birds today, and just manages to take a little bit of self-inflicted damage. Very unfortunate. It's Patricia's turn.
Okay, you know what? We're going to go for the safeguard.
Okay.
I don't want Patricia to get confused as well.
There's no roll for that or anything. It just goes up, right?
Yep.
All right. Patricia summons a veil of safety around herself and Quacko. Seeing an opportunity to strike while one of the Pokemon is disoriented, this Pelipper is going to go for a wing attack into Patricia. Flies forward with wings outstretched. Going to be a 22 to hit Patricia. Okay, you got off pretty easy, dealing 9 points of flying type damage to Patricia. With wings outstretched, bop right into Patricia's face right as the veil goes up. It is Quacko's turn to try and act again.
Come on, buddy. We've been through so much already. That's an 18.
Ooh, okay. Okay, so you snap out of confusion, and you get to take your turn. What do you want to do?
Big. Aerial Ace. Just consistent damage. 10.
10?
Max roll of that. 10, yeah.
Let's go. Quacko's
mad.
Quacko's angry after being confused. Just smacks Pelipper with his leak. Nicely done. Back to Patricia.
All right, we're going to keep going for the sings.
Okay.
Patricia, next song in your album, please be a banger.
Rolling now. That's an 11. Won't cut it.
Dang it.
Pelipper is unfazed. Pelipper feels pretty confident about the damage it dealt to Patricia last turn. Is going to pummel Patricia with a stream of water from its bill. Let's see if this hits. Does a 14 hit Patricia?
That is exactly the armor class.
All right.
And ties favor the attacker. Dang it.
It's true. How much percent value HP does Patricia have? If you had to guess, is it greater than 50% or less than 50%?
It's greater.
Okay. So in this case of brine, it will not be doing increased damage. Another 12 points of damage, including the rain damage. Or not rain damage, but the rain boost. It's Quacko's turn.
Quacko, we just got to hit it. Just aerial ace again. 7 damage this time.
After successful aerial ace, Pelipper gets a little bit weaker. You chose a pretty bulky opponent. This thing's not quite in yellow HP yet. It's going to be a tough boss to take down.
Well, I expected Patricia to be cranking out bangers like she normally does, but she hasn't yet.
Well, she has another chance to right now. Is she going to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. What are your odds here? Like, from a d20, if each roll is 5%, and you're looking from the top 7, is that like 40% chance? 35% chance? Something
It's
like
worse
that?
than actual saying, yeah.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. It's an 8 again. That's so sad. Oh. Pelipper almost falling for the lulling melody coming out of Patricia's mouth, but is not quite sleepy enough yet. This time, going to fire off a wing attack at Patricia.
Patricia, brace yourself.
For a 17. Pelipper's not messing around.
This thing's plus to hit.
7.
It's a nightmare. Okay.
That's why it's a 2v1. Oh, wow. Only 5 damage. That's crazy. That was a really low roll.
Patricia's still in it.
Patricia's hanging on. What's Quacko gonna do?
Keep on smacking him. That's a 9 damage.
Pelipper's looking kind of upset. Looks like you're roughing it up a little bit. Doesn't want to play any more games anymore. It's Patricia's turn.
It is Patricia's turn. Patricia, you beautiful, beautiful songstress. Now's the time. You've had the period where you got to do what you want. You got to be artistic or whatever. Now it's time to start cranking out the bangers. The stuff that's gonna sell.
It's a 12. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I really want this to happen, but the odds are just not in your favor. These songs are just not coming through to Pelipper, unfortunately.
Pelipper just isn't a good music fan. Pelipper just doesn't understand good
Pelipper
music.
has bad taste, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And part of this bad taste is because its mouth is just full of briny water that's shooting at Patricia.
No.
That's an 11. I don't think that hits.
No, that doesn't hit.
You should have gotten that roll for sing. That was a 4, natural 4. Patricia manages to dodge out of the way. Another lease on life. What's Quacko gonna do?
Just keep on smacking.
Okay, give me the smack.
8.
8. Pretty good numbers. Pretty good rolls.
Pretty fair, yep.
Yeah, Patricia, more songs. Safeguard has worn off, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna throw up another one of those.
Okay.
Just because. Yeah.
Safeguard comes back up.
I don't want any of that confusion shenanigans again.
Switching it up, going back to his other primary attack. Wings outstretched, trying to smack into Patricia.
Why are you bullying Patricia?
That's going to be a 16 to hit. And bonk. Bonk. Ooh. That's 15 points of flying type damage.
Patricia is knocked out.
Patricia faints. It's Quacko and a Pelican. Pelican's not looking that great, but it's got some HP left for sure. What's Quacko gonna do?
Schmidt recalls Patricia to her Pokeball, and then takes just a big somber look at the Pokeball, and then he begins to giggle. You just hear like a Quacko, it's time. And then Quacko gets ready, and Quacko would like to challenge this Pelipper to Duck Finals.
Let's go. All right. Opposed Dex check. Let's get it.
15.
Pelipper got a 14.
Sick.
So, as Duck Finals goes, you get to attack for free. That always crits. What's it gonna be?
I'm gonna go for Fury Attack crit.
Okay.
So is it like Gen 1 rules? So it's like all the hits for Fury Attack crit?
Oh
or
god,
just
I never planned that. How do we balance this? You know what? I'm gonna say yeah, because the damage is so low anyways. Well, no, because of how crits work. No, that's not how crits work.
I was thinking it'd be fair if like we're getting the max roll damage, but it's still just a 50-50 whether like it's the same roll to hit multiple times.
It's just max roll each time?
Yeah.
You know, I think that's more generous than what I was going for, so sure. More generous for Pelipper. So that means your first hit is an automatic max roll. So now you're just rolling d4s to see if you hit more.
So automatic 8. It's a 2, so I only get the 1.
Okay. 8 damage though, and a pretty epic way of making that happen.
Yeah.
Successful Duck Finals.
But we passed. Okay, so I do get to hit him with my last aerial ace for 8 damage.
8 damage. This is looking pretty good. All right, Pelipper's noticing this because Pelipper's not looking great. Pelipper can go for that big old wind attack. It's one of 2 attacking moves that it has. So, does a 19 hit?
Yeah.
That's 11 points of flying type damage to Quacko. Big old wing attack comes in, smacks Quacko in the face.
Quacko's gonna hit him with a Fury attack. +5, that's a 7.
Okay, that's something.
I'm assuming that doesn't hit.
So no boosted damage from this incoming brine. If it hits, that's a natural 19. With the rain boost, that's going to be 13 points of water type damage. You can end it, maybe, depending on what attack you do. It's possible.
And more aerial aces left. Quacko, give him a big Fury attack. Ah! He crit!
He crit! Look at that! Let's see how much damage it is. How many times? How many times does it hit?
Oh, I got a 4.
Okay.
So it's 2.
Uh-huh.
And then a 1, so it only hits twice.
It hits twice.
Well, that's 16, right?
That's 16 points of damage. Do you want to describe how Quacko KOs Pelipper?
Quacko, just samurai-esque as ever, pulls out a sword and then just keeps, like, beating down this Pelipper.
Oh, no. Just repeatedly.
Just, bah, bah, bah.
Oh, my goodness. Nicely done. Winona turns to you and says, wow, quite a show from a Farfetch'd. I don't think I've seen a Farfetch'd fight in that way ever before. She says, "Come here and join me for a second." She ushers you over to. Yeah, she's standing like at the railing at the top of the gym. The sun rose just like 2 hours ago, so it's not too hot yet. And the drizzle from Pelipper has faded away, and you see this marvelous, beautiful view. And you got a pretty marvelous, beautiful gym leader next to you. She turns to you and she says, "Nicely done, Schmidt." And she hands you $100. And she also hands you the feather badge. Congrats on your very first gym badge.
So listen, you free later, or maybe want to like grab a drink or something?
Roll persuasion.
Hell yeah. So it's just a +2, 12.
12?
Yeah.
She turns to you and she says, "You're an incredible battler. I'm pretty busy today. I have a lot of challenges lined up. If you come back to Fortree any other day, come find me."
Oh, hell yeah.
She gestures to an elevator on the side of the building. And you step on and you descend all the way down. You notice, coming up to the gym, are friends Cindy and Gimli. It looks like Cindy's kind of escorting Gimli over to the gym, and Cindy looks very happy, very excited. I'm not going to do any role playing for them necessarily, but if you had to guess, you'd probably assume that her challenge went well.
All right.
It looks like Gimli's on his way, and he has 2 Pokeballs on his belt. Very curious. Is there any sort of errand that you'd like to do before you return to the Pokemon Center and relax while the rest of your party takes their challenge?
No. Pokemon are hurt. Pokemon need to be healed.
Okay. In that case, that's where we'll call it. Thanks for tuning in to Schmidt's special gym session on Dunsparce and Drampa. If you're enjoying the series, please be sure to follow or subscribe and check out the links in the description or by visiting linktree/Dunsparce. That's linktr.ee/Dunsparce. This podcast was heavily inspired by Boarding Party's Pokemon D&D podcast on YouTube, so if you enjoy this content, you should indubitably go check them out as well. The Patreon is now live. It currently hosts the NPC naming form and will have post-show discussions for the first 3 episodes up soon. Our next gym challenge will be CJ's on Tuesday. We'll see you then. Pelipper almost got you. That was pretty close.
That was a neck and neck. I couldn't have asked for like an actual, like more tense of a fight.